Nearly half young people, 47% to be exact, have received intimidating, threatening, or nasty messages online at some point in their life. Children and young people are using social media now for longer periods of time and using multiple profiles. Sometimes some of these are even secretive. There is a connection between intensive social media use and mental health. Of children currently experiencing mental health problems, over 2/3 of them have experienced cyberbullying at some point in the past year. All of those statistics come from InternetSafety101.org. I have 2 girls, and both of my girls got phones at a fairly young age. And there are definitely things I have learned that work well and things that do not work well. And things that I have found to be beneficial to help us with our phone use at our house. And I will explain some of those things that have worked for us and why I think it is imperative to have parental controls on your child's phone. First, let me talk about some basic suggestions that I have. And no matter what kind of phone you choose, whether it be an Android or iOS, one of the greatest tools a parent can have is a contract for your child to sign. Now, this contract should be signed and completed and figured out by you and your child. If you spend time doing that with your child, then you will get better buy-in. And that contract should not only have rules and guidelines to follow, but it should also have some kind of consequences. That way, your child is not surprised when you take their phone away or some other kind of consequence that you may give. They know exactly what's coming. And granted, if your child gets a phone when they're young, that contract may evolve and change. So be prepared to change it as needed and as your child grows older. Another thing that I have found works well is to have your child turn in their phone at night. And I even have some friends who don't allow their children to have phones in their rooms at all. It's just the #1 rule, no phones in your room. But I have found that when your child turns it in at night, then you've got it and they're not sitting there checking messages and things all night long. No matter what works best for you and your family, then it all boils down to figuring out ways to keep your child safe. Now, for the parental controls, depending on which site you visit, you hear which platform has the best parental controls, whether it be iOS or Android. I personally am an iOS or Apple fan. At Safeways.com, we learned that Androids work best with certain apps because it is an open operating system. I personally have never found that to be an issue. I have never had a problem using Apple products with the parental controls. And Androids have some great features, but the iPhone is just really easy to use and very user-friendly. And they have the parental controls on it. You can set a password on it that only you know, your child doesn't know, and that it sets up their controls, including timers, which is something that I love. So those timers I have set where on my child's phone, only social media accounts can have only an hour a day. Once she reaches that limit, then the apps shut down. And she has to either ask for a passcode to get more time, or she just can't access it for the rest of the day. Another thing I like is the downtime. And on that downtime, I'm able to shut down how her phone works from 10 o'clock at night to 7 a.m. And that's just what works best for my family for the timeline. And during that time, she is only allowed text messages from certain people and certain apps she can access during that time. But otherwise, social media, FaceTime, things like that do not work during that time. On webwatcher.com, it also tells us that iOS offers the ability to see text messages, even deleted messages. You can see emails, you can see photos, website history, call log history, and all of that. And it also explains a little bit about the iCloud feature, which is a great feature, and that's something we share across our family, so we're able to see the music we download and the photos we download, and things like that. There's also a feature called Find My iPhone, and Find My iPhone allows me to see where my family is at any point in time. I know to some that may sound a little extreme. However, there have been times where I have not been able to find out where my child is, or they're not responding to messages, and so I'm able to see where they're at and give me a better idea. Okay, they're at so-and-so's house, everything's fine and okay. There's even been times that we've lost devices and we've been able to find them through Find My iPhone. So that is another handy tool for keeping your kids safe. Now, getting a phone for your child can be a scary thing, and it may feel like you're entering uncharted territory. However, there's some great tools out there, like the parental controls, that can help you as a parent keep your child safe from all of the things on the internet that you don't want them seeing or want them doing, or having them creating new addictions on their phones. So just take your time, do your homework, and choose the best option for what works for you and your family, and overall keep your child safe. Thank you.